Back to the Black Warrior. Country. In fact, the restaurant where I used to work was in Coaling, Alabama, because of the coal. Some really rich coal in here. Very rich coal. Good stuff. Good stuff, you know. Stuff they can't hardly find anywhere else in the world. Very rich coal. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Nobody's out here fishing today. Across the way there is Blue Creek. If you remember, used to fish from there a lot. The company called Maxcatch sent out an entire two-hand fly fishing kit set for me to try out, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. If you remember the last trip, it was about, you know, hey, presented by Maxcatch Fishing, because they're the sponsors for this video. First thing was this reel, which is a 9-10 weight Avid reel. It's actually just a freshwater reel. It's their lower cost reel because it's not, doesn't have all this fancy waterproofing or salt proofing and all. But for fishing for catfish, it's fine. 9-10 weight. Came with a nice bag. Nice bag, not bad at all. They sent the fly line, which is two-handed fly line is constructed. I have 100 yards of backing, 100 feet of shooting running line, and then about 24 feet of a shooting head, and that goes to some old sinking line that I had, about 12 feet, and then my leader and tippet, and then the flies. Holds my flies. You have many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We got like 12 rows of flies that you can put in here. Now my flies are larger because they're more saltwater type flies, streamers, longer. I'm using saltwater hooks essentially, and this is waterproof. They sent out a waterproof case, and it floats. So that, my friends, is how you keep my lures. You have this here, so you need to watch it, especially if you got long hairs and things. Just pack it down. I don't know if they make a longer, more saltwater oriented version of it, but if they do, I might have to go check that out. It locks in place, snap, and very nice and compact. Onto the rod. Spey rod, which means it was, the spey rods or two-handed fly rods were originally developed on the River Spey in the United Kingdom. 13-footer, 8/9 weight, 4-section by Maxcatch. It comes with the rod case, and this rod case is pretty sturdy. I mean, I am enjoying this rod case. Here in the West, you buy a fishing rod, you got to go buy a rod case separately. You got to go buy all this stuff separately. And where this company, and they make the rod, it all comes with it. Now, why two-handed? Most of the fly rods you see are single-hand rods, but who wants to be fighting a 50-pound catfish with a single-hand rod? Every one of you who are targeting trophy catfish, or you have two hands on the rod when you're fighting that catfish, don't you? Well, that's why I got a two-handed fly rod, right? Two-handed fly rod. And an 8/9 weight fly rod, two-handed, is roughly about like it's about like 11 or 12 weight single-handed. So it has a ton of backbone and ton of lifting power and stopping power. A custom, similar to what most of you trophy catfishermen are used to, and that's what we're trying to do on the fly rod. this morning. I think the high is only going to be like maybe 91, maybe. Feels a little bit cooler than it did this weekend. This weekend just felt like August. See some campers. If you see campers over here at Blue Creek, that usually means that they've been doing a lot of jug fishing, which means they may have already caught a lot of the aggressive catfish up by the dam. Not a bad thing, but just something to keep in mind. I don't want to get too far back off into the creek, but I saw some bluegill skipping below the boat dock there, which is probably a very good place to do some fly fishing, but I'm not fishing for brim. I'm wanting to fish for catfish for catfish. Buggy fly today. Little buggy. And I don't have night crawlers, but I am going to tip it with a small piece of cut bait. Why? Because I can. And I am in fact fishing for catfish. I ain't doing no bass fishing. I'm catfishing, y'all. We're gonna see if we can't get them on some cut bait on a fly rod. That's what we're gonna do. One, I want to see, can I cast? Normally in the spring you catch a lot of little white bass or striped bass or wipers or white bass and hybrids back in here. Wind's blowing with the current. And there's a good bit of wind, so we're going to slowly drift out of this cove out into the main river. See what we can do. A lot of trash gets back in here. Not sure what we have to do to clean all that up because it's really nasty. But right here is all right. Maxcatch two-hand fly rod. You've heard me say this before. I keep harping on that, but nice slow fall on that. Well, I don't know. Wind looks like the wind's changed now. It's like it maybe. Again, we're just fly drifting. We're doing some stripping, which is a technique where you have all your line out and you're just like literally hand lining it back in. And you see, just kind of hand line it back in. The rod just makes it more convenient to cast, get a lot of line out quickly. And we're just drifting along, seeing what we can pick up. Nothing so far. But we'll see. We got something. We got something. Fly rod, baby. Fly rod. What we got? You think we got a bass? Or you think we got a... Fighting them the wrong way. You need to be fighting them on the line and not on the rod. Two-handed rod, but... Oh, man. First real something I can feel on the rod. Oh, yeah. Let's get him on the rod. Let's get him on the reel. See what the drag is like. Can you see that? So we're butt of the rod's down on the hip just like you would anything else, and we're just fighting him. Fighting him. We got something on the fly rod, baby. 8-9 weight, and it just feels like I've got so much power. It's that super bug fly. I actually took the stupid cut bait off, so I may still use some kind of scent on it. I'm not feeling the head shakes like you normally would with a bass. I mean, or a with a catfish. I'm not feeling the head shakes, but oh man, no, he's still on. He's still on. Gotta hand line him in. Oh yeah, that's a little bass, a little stripe, a little stripey, a little spot. Little spot. Okay. It bodes well. Oh, nice little spot. What do you think? What do you think, huh? Not a bad little spot. That's a 1/0 hook. Right in the corner of the mouth with our little buggy fly. I think that's what I'm gonna call it. Ugly bugger or something like that. It's olive and brown and tan tinsel on it. Not bad. There's some sort of weird parasite on this fish. On his skin, under the scale. It's really weird. It looks like a little tick or something. Let's let him go. I think he'll make it back. Should be all right. Come on, buddy. Oh, there he goes. He went on back. Just casting there into the rocks there. Got to get back over there now. First bass on the fly rod, man. On this fly rod, at least. First bass I ever caught on a fly rod was in these waters. It was an olive-colored cat's whisker, and the fly we have today, although it's not a cat's whisker, it has some of the similar features, primarily being olive. But this is tied. This is not a pattern. It's just, again, these are flies that I'll just sit down and just using my brain and just come up with and invent on my own. I don't look at somebody. I generally don't look at other people's patterns when I tie my flies. I just come up with my own flies based on the materials I have on hand. It's just a little bit of deer hair, bucktail, olive, bucktail, brown deer hair that's speckled underbelly type. Some brown/tan tinsel, and overwing of some red chinchilla feathers. And when you put it in, and I've got a, I have a, under the body is just lead. Just take some lead core line and wrap it so it'll help get down. And then the finish is that UV finish that I like. Slight variation on one of the flies you saw me tie like this a little earlier this season. Oh, you know, I don't ever tie the same fly too often. I mean, they're just slight variations, and that's how we got him. You know, 9-10 weight fly rod. The fly rod had so much power, it just didn't hardly feel like a fight, really. So we definitely have the right rod for catching some trophy catfish. We just need to get some. We're gonna have to get some bigger hooks and start tying some really big flies out of some zonker strips, stuff like that. If you want this fly, this I don't know what I'm gonna call it, the olive ugly bug or something like that. Ugly bug. You can just check them out there on my on the website. And you can fish these with live bait, worms, as I was doing earlier today. Or you can just fish them plain. It doesn't matter. I mean, we got overcast skies today. They said it was going to be sunny, but it's just clearly mostly cloudy instead. A lot of wind. All the way down to this little creek. Got people already fishing here. We're doing some little strips. We're really drifting it because the current's back eddy right here. All right, that's much better. Gets pretty shallow right here a little bit. I've caught a lot of brim off that little point right there. Right there. A lot of brim. flowing backward because we're in a back eddy. The water coming off here comes all the way around and spits it out back upstream here. It always is like that. It's always been like that. So the good thing is you can get into this faster stuff and let the current just naturally carry the fly down or back upstream. Drag is actually pretty good with this reel. I like it. I usually leave it all the way off when I'm just trying to dole out line. And then once the line's doled out, then I'll just put it about 25% or so. About something about like that. Really nothing since the first since the first fish. So I keep switching back and forth between casting and sort of retrieving and then just letting out all the line and just drifting. When it comes down to it, we're really just fishing just below the surface, maybe down about 3 foot deep. The sinking tip line I have only sinks at about 3 inches per second. We need to get something that's going to sink like a rocket far, far faster than this. And I think that may be why we're having some trouble getting the fly turned over as well, because this little light stuff just doesn't, it's just too light in the butt for this heavy rod and heavy, like 600 grain tip on this thing. So try to get some T14 or something like that, Rio type sink tip. But hey, learning curve. Always a learning curve. Slow bite today. And again, I don't think we're deep enough either. Good drift. We had some live bait and some worms. Fishing for those real deep minnows, brim down low. It's a good win for this. Back to the rocks, see? Yellow one here. Goodness. Wind just gusting. It's just. Timing is just not so great, that's all. Poor timing. And that laid out right and did everything right. I just sped up the timing. I think I've been pausing a little too long and things. bad, but not bad, but we can do better, I think. Just really letting it sink a long time and just letting the wind basically start my retrieve, right? And as the wind goes here, a couple of jerks there. No idea how that happens. Wait a minute. Oh gosh. Gummit. There we go. Never would catch anything like that. Oh my gosh. Just tangled up all. This is really annoying. Release a little bit too late there. It's really about timing. It's not force. It's just accelerating to a stop, even with the roll cast. Or yeah, a little bit better every time. So with fly fishing, you get enthralled with the casting and the fly tying, and it really becomes more about that than it does catching the fish, because it's more of a sporting way to do it. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, you know, for me, you know, again, so much of what I have had to do in life, I just had to be self-taught. There's nobody to teach me how. You ever seen anybody? Most of you probably never heard of a two-handed fly rod before. So part of what I do here on the channel is experiment and try new things. And you're sort of learning as I do a lot of times. Oh, see, we just did something wrong. Gosh, this daggum line is. Not a bad roll cast there. Just get a little good old roll cast out. Nothing other than the one fish. So we'll see. Just got to stick with it, I think. You know, that's the thing about a new way of fishing. You can't just try it in 30 minutes and it doesn't work and then you quit. I mean, it's a good recipe for failure in life. You have to, you know. But I've learned in life that you often have to experiment. Oh, come on now. A little bit better. So we got to get the fly downstream and then, or something, I don't know. It's like a change in direction. See, the thing is about this type of rod is that you'd be standing still in a stream and the water's moving, you're still. Here, well, the water's moving and the wind's moving and the boat's moving, and not always in the same direction. So it's a whole different sort of casting way to think about the casting. So, you know, it becomes, okay, well, if the wind's blowing sort of this way and the current's moving, the wind's blowing sort of this way, current's moving that way, and then the boat's sort of splitting the difference between the two, well, exactly how do I cast, right? And that one did. I cast here, then brought it right back around and then shot it this way, right? Because the fly is still, it's just sinking to the bottom and it's not moving unless I start stripping it. We're the ones moving, I'm the one moving, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's different. I mean, you can watch as many YouTube videos as you want, but until you get out here and try it in your circumstances, in your waters, it you know, it doesn't, it's different. See, now the fly is up here. Now, if we were fishing, you'd cast up here and the fly would move downstream. Here, we're casting downstream and the boat's moving and the fly is still, but the fly ends up upstream from us because we're moving, right? You see the difference is a completely different, we're the ones moving, not the river. Well, the river and the air and the boat, we're all moving, everything's moving. That one was pretty ugly, but I'm not worried about it. So you have to you're constantly looking at what's going on, and now the wind's picking up a lot, and so I still wish I had went ahead and stopped and got me some night crawlers and stuck on here, because we probably would be catching something on those night crawlers, if anything. But at the same time, so I'm doing this. I don't know if the name of it, but I'm doing here, I'm going here, and then I'm coming back, and then I'm shooting it out. I didn't even watch it very well, so it's not, you know, and that's the only way I'm finding that I can really fish while drifting and into the wind and all that kind of thing. So the cast, ultimately the wind, so we're changing directions, and the wind's helping to carry the fly downstream instead of me trying to cast against the wind upstream. It's just a different way of thinking about it. I don't know if that's called a snap tee or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. I'm just doing what is working, right? Just based on what I'm observing and things. That's what it means to experiment. Because if you do it the way they do it, well, I'm not in their circumstances. So you know, you have to modify it. We're still letting go of the running line too soon. It's not, you know, when you're used to spinning gear, you're almost letting go of the line at almost the same time you're forward. But here, you're shooting the line, you're launching the line, and you're having to let that line launch and begin to unroll. Then you let it go. It's like half a second later or something. It's like you're talking half a second later than what you're used to. Oh, cast right up there on the bank too, man. That's maybe what I'm gonna do. Probably got caught up in the rocks now. rocks now. And we're helping the boat when we go in and out. That's helping with the retrieve as well, believe it or not. But here we're just going to try to lob a nice, almost decent roll cast. Now a roll cast, see, when you watch River runs through it, he's going back and forward. All right, that's called a back cast. This is a roll cast. If you remember the first cast you see, he was talking about it's too tight against the bank, try a roll cast. That's a roll cast. It literally rolls out. Now this is essentially a glorified roll cast because you've got this big long shooting head, and there it goes, and it just rolls right out. The roll cast to me is my favorite fly cast. I mean, back cast has its place, but I just prefer the roll cast. And a two-handed fly rod is essentially a roll casting rod, except you can use two hands. You can use 600 grain, super heavy. I mean, that fly line, that blue line you see out there is about it's almost as thick as a pencil. It's almost as thick as a pencil, almost. So that's where all the weight is, even though it does float. When you put a sink tip on that, you got about a 12-foot sink tip, so you can help get down, plus a weighted fly. We're just fishing streamers, which is really all I care to fish, really. Not too bad. It kind of collapses down. The more we fish it, the better we'll get at it. I wouldn't mind getting to a private pond somewhere where I know there's tons of fish stacked up and we can just really get some experience on the fishing side of it as opposed to just working on casting and hoping we can get some fish. I know there's fish out in the middle of that water column right now because out here in the middle of the lake or the river, but like I say, I don't have anything to get down that deep right now, so we're just gonna come on. Oh, yeah, we did that. We blew that anchor. Yeah, a little bit better. A little bit better. And the wind will help it unroll forward. You're throwing the line, not the lure. You're throwing the line, not the lure. Even with a two-handed fly rod. You see the line just staying there. See, again, if we were on the Cahaba River or one of these classic rivers, you'd be the line it would be drifting downstream. But no, we're the ones drifting, all right? Nice cool day today, you know, warm, sort of. It's not even. It's nice, cool. It's been cloudy all day, which I generally have worse luck on this river when it's cloudy than when it's sunny. Yeah, should have let go more like at 10 o'clock. We let it go almost like 9 o'clock. But it's all right, we can still fish. We just keep fishing. You just keep fishing. You never know what you're gonna catch. The olive ones seem to fish pretty well. I believe they're jug fishing, maybe. There was one jug up there real close to the dam that had a fish on it, but there's a little fish there. Some days you just don't catch, you know, that's fine. One of the reasons why you see me jug fishing and things like that, because no matter what, I know I can almost catch something if I got those jugs out. Not every time, but a lot of times. Little creek here, stream really, not a creek, it's just a stream. It kind of ebbs and flows. there's been times where you could just walk on dry land right in there. But here it looks like it's more flooded. It comes up very shallow, right along in there. we're not loading the rod. We're not getting enough behind us to load the rod. caught much in this little cubby here. Normally these two gates are open, but here they got the two gates over there open. Wind gently want to blow us toward the break wall here.
Not bad. Definitely a slow bite, and we're trying new flies and a new method, so it always takes time to dial it in, you know. But I'm happy with the rod. The rod's got a lot of power. It's got a ton of power. A ton of power. We should be able to get some big cats. But we gotta find them. We gotta find baits that'll work for them, or lures, and then we may just need to tip it with some night crawlers or something, or some skipjack or something like that. Not bad.
The dang dock. Oh, oh man. Alright. Gotta get a bow mount trolling motor.